Is there one question in particular?
Well, no. Just... There is. When will I get married?
You're a strong, independent woman with great success in your future, but I do not see marriage.
Excuse me?
I don't see it.
What?
I don't see marriage.
Well, how can you just say that like that? I mean, what about my feelings?
Honey, I'm a psychic. I'm not a shrink.
Now, while Charlotte York was our favorite of the girlies, she definitely had her problems. She may have had similar values to us, similar morals,
Yeah. But however, she lacked things to help her become like the full, well-rounded woman that like I think she really could have been.
Yes, Charlotte was a great example of light femininity. She was nurturing, she moved with grace, she was vulnerable, she was open to love.
And she was very much believing in abundance and believing that something's out there for her.
The real issue is that Charlotte lacked the dark femininity, which is the side that makes her lay down her boundaries and really put herself on a pedestal and remember her self-worth. So today we're going to do a video about how Charlotte's desperation for her idealized version of love stunted her growth. And we're doing this video for any other girl out there who is like obsessed with wanting to get married to the point that you lose yourself and you're more focused on the idea of marriage.
And before we get started, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Mel.
And we do all forms of unfiltered content
And make self-development fun. So make sure that you are subscribed and you become a Remy Rebel today. Let's get into it. Charlotte's desperation for marriage was stronger than her wanting to be compatible with the man she's with. That's insane. Her first relationship with Trey was a major sign of that.
the true desperation is her proposing, because at the end of the day, a man is supposed to be the one to decide, hey, I am ready to take this step forward to be with this woman. She is the one for me. I want to be with her. But you are the one who decide to take the reins.
And the reason Charlotte took control is because she liked the idea of being with Trey. She liked basically who Trey McDougal was on paper was her ideal husband. And she was so desperate that she was like, yeah, we should get married. And this man's like, alrighty.
I'm engaged.
Oh my God, really? Oh, that's wonderful, sweetie.
I proposed to myself.
What?
Yes. I suggested he have a tomato salad. Then I suggested we get married.
Wait, what exactly did he say?
Alrighty.
Alrighty? He said alrighty? Now, I'm thinking the upsetting thing isn't that you proposed, it's that you proposed to a guy who says alrighty.
Oh, Carrie, stop.
Alrighty.
I was the one who was supposed to say yes.
Oh, who cares about those stupid rules?
I do.
Look, you're overreacting.
This is an awful engagement story. What am I supposed to tell my kids? Well, Mommy really wanted to get married, so Daddy said, alrighty. So unromantic.
Oh.
Like, that's how much just getting to the marriage was a win for her, even if that was a roadblock. That's insane.
Like, reevaluate everything, please.
A lot of girls do this. A lot of girls do this.
You're like, oh my God, he said yes. He said yes. Whew, that's you. In the relationship with Trey McDougal, she finds out that this man can't even get it up and keep it going up for long.
And she low-key didn't want to get married to him because of that. And honestly, the only reason she did it is because, again, like, she wants the fantasy. Because it didn't heal in their relationship. It was worse. Number one, she finds out that this guy can't get his nut off with her if he's looking at imagery of other women with big
titties.
tatas.
Yeah, big titties, big titty tatas.
Then he said, okay, period. Like, now we can get down.
Now we in business.
And the fact that instead of reevaluating her relationship and seeing if like she deserves more than that, Charlotte tried to fix the problem. The moment you try to fix a man, you are in your wounded feminine energy.
Yeah.
We don't fix them. We're not their mother. We're not here. Like, are you Barbara the Builder?
Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you? No. Your only job is to fix yourself and work on yourself.
That's it. If he did, like, she went as far as to going in the magazines and cutting out the woman's head in all of them and putting her picture. I thought that was insane. Like, if you have to go that far, like, maybe we need to reevaluate
I think
stuff.
on top of that, I think what to me is really weird about that is the fact that you're willing to do that, but not discuss it with him. There's no discussion. He just came and found you there. So that to me, you don't even care about the emotional intimacy of having an open discussion. You'd rather just fix it. You don't care.
That's wounded.
That's weird and wounded.
Second thing that like really showcased her desperation is like she often romanticized everything and chose romanticizing over her reality, and it was one of her biggest setbacks in all of her romantic relationships, specifically with Trey. She was more focused on the wedding than the marriage itself and how the marriage looked than the marriage itself. Think about those like magazine shoots.
Yeah, she was like, oh my God, like I need to look a certain way in the magazine. She was freaking out.
Another problem is like she'll try to mold herself into being what she thinks a good wife is. Like she literally is one of those girls that want to play the role of like the idea of a good wife. You're supposed to have your head down and go along with everything. Like with Trey, she wouldn't voice her opinions, her issues. She just wanted to be the good wife.
Yeah,
Like,
and I've heard her say, like, she has the belief and understanding, yes, in some ways this is correct. She believed that, you know, you showing that you're super competent and you can handle it is not a good idea.
Most men are threatened by successful women. If you want to get these guys, you have to keep your mouth shut and play by the rules.
But you took it too far.
I believe in not showing that you're super independent, but I also don't believe that means your feelings
don't matter.
They don't matter, and there's no room for them. Being independent has nothing to do with your not having room for your feelings, like,
and having an opinion.
Like, oh, like something upsets me, but because I'm supposed to be strong, I can't voice that. I gotta show him I got it. I can.
That's another wounded thing. Actually, you need to have a balance. That's what it is. A balance.
Another major issue we had with Charlotte, and it really showed us like, wow, like the desperation it's actually doing too much. It's doing too much because not only after her relationship with Trey, when they first broke up, we barely saw Charlotte date. She would try, but it wasn't working for her. She needed her married vision. It was really hard for her to go back to single life to the point that she actually goes back. She does the most. She starts stalking Trey. Anything to convince him to give their relationship another try. And mind you, I guess they got married. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're fucked up or trying to make your marriage work.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with wanting to make something. You made a commitment and you're trying.
But the reason is all based on one thing, having that image, because they never actually worked through their problems and they just resurfaced again and then they ended up not being together.
Yeah. So like, what was the point of all of that? And you didn't even like his mom.
She didn't even like his mom, but she would still be in contact and have a relationship with the mom. Like, she has an issue. She couldn't even let go because it means completely shutting down the vision that she had with Trey.
Yeah, of being like the Park Avenue princess. She wanted that vision. That's what a lot of people in New York in the high class, they aspire to have that type of status.
Mm-hmm. The second thing she does when she moves on is adjust her standards.
When it came to meeting her new man, Harry Goldenbat, who was her lawyer with Trey McDougal.
Her divorce lawyer.
Yeah, her divorce lawyer with like Trey McDougal. When she's trying to leave that man, she meets this guy. She's like, damn, this guy's really assertive. He got it going on. And she really liked him because he finally was giving her what she was kind of looking for, the passion. He was really into her. Was he her type physically?
No.
Absolutely not.
And we do know that women are able to get over that. Men aren't, by the way, so don't ever listen to them. Men are never going to get over it. Ever. Women are the type that can, but men can't. But number one, she didn't find him attractive. And if you think about it, all through season 1, we watched Charlotte date very handsome, tall, white men. They all had chiseled jaw. They all had that nice dark brown hair with that suave little look. They were all well-dressed businessmen archetype.
Yeah, they all had the bag. They all look good.
And she became so desperate that she decided she needs to stop shooting for the stars. She followed that Shera 7 rule that I personally don't agree with, which is that you can't be with a hot man or a man that's your type, and that if you want to have the life that you want, that you should lower your
to not
standards.
look like anything that you're attracted to.
You're in a sort of relationship?
It's ridiculous. He's so not my type.
Is he heterosexual?
Yes. But he's bald and short. And he talks with his mouth full. And I don't even want to be seen in public with him. And I hate his name, Harry, because he is everywhere but his head.
Wow. Is the sex bad too?
It's the best sex of my life. I think I might really like him.
Charlotte literally did the Shera method. Not that Shera's sending you guys out for love. She's sending people out for the bag. But this is our issue because Charlotte kept saying love was what she wanted.
But I think you more so like the image also of what Harry had. Because he was a lawyer. He's established. He has money.
And he was a good guy. Like, he did treat her well. But you even said, look at you. Like, you made a comment when you felt like you weren't getting what you wanted in the relationship. You're out here commenting on his physicality, like, as a rebuttal when you guys were having a disagreement, showing me you're not, you yourself feel like you're slighting yourself, that in a moment of vulnerability where you want to go tit for tat, you're like, bro, you're literally ugly. Do you understand that? Like, I'm hot and you're ugly. Like, do you get that? That's my translation.
Another really obvious way she adjusted her standards is she switched from her religion of Pescatalian to Judaism. That wasn't even her religion. And the reason that she changed it is because Harry said, first of all, I'm pretty sure, did Charlotte not bring up marriage?
Yes, she did. Number one, you have a habit of being the one leading the man to marriage. That's number one, wounded, very masculine.
She had a habit of that. That is not okay.
That's not okay. There's difference between dating to marry and then making sure every man you date is trying to marry you. Are you good?
You can let him know you want marriage. That's important. So that way we both have the same intention.
Yeah.
The same end goal. But if you're out here like, hey, about marriage, you and me.
Don't you think we should get married? Like, Charlotte is always
suggesting it first. That is a very, like, that is you in your wounded state and you working through your masculine and not being feminine, not being in your feminine energy and leaning back and letting him feel like, okay, I am interested in marriage, and him starting to bring up things about you guys in the future, letting him lead the way. Even if you are into it, you don't, like, we didn't say for you not to be interested in marriage. We're saying, why you gotta be the one to bring it up first? Are you gonna go down on your knees?
No, like, Charlotte might as well have gone down on her knees, because the moment, first of all, it's interesting, like, he lets her know, I cannot marry someone that's not Jewish, and it took 0.5 seconds for her to change her religion. That's our issue with Charlotte. Like, there's difference when you fall in love with someone, you're moving towards marriage, and they're letting you know, like, listen, like, I actually am getting very serious with you, and I want to take it to the next step, but here's the thing. It's just for me, I want to marry someone who's Jewish, and I don't want to put you in a position where you have to make such a crazy decision, but I also want to let you know, like, that's where I'm at. And if Charlotte's like, I love you so much, Harry, you give me everything, I would love to be Jewish for you. Go off, queen.
You're in your golden retriever bag, go off.
If a man lets you know they want to marry you, but they have a thing where they want to marry, they only will marry someone who's in their religion, and they do not want to force you to make a decision like that, and they would prefer that the religion is something you actually wanted to be a part of, and that then you guys can be together, and you decide, I actually am into being Jewish. I am, or I would love to learn more and see if that's something that could happen. Go off, queen. Like, there's a lot of people who don't even have a religious faith.
Yeah.
They're just existing in life. But if a man tells you, oh, I only date Muslim girls, or I only could marry a Muslim girl, and tomorrow you have a hijab, you're a psycho.
That's very strange, and that's inauthentic and disrespectful.
And do you see the very different connotations of those? Number one, the man brought up marriage. Number two, he made it clear he doesn't want you to switch for him. He made it clear. I've seen this happen before, like on a reality show. But the guy says you have to only switch to the religion because you like the religion and you want to learn it. If a guy tells you switch to this so we can be together, that's also no. But weirder that he just told you what his boundary was and you just switched the next day. And then not only did she switch the next day, she immediately showed up like, okay, so where's my ring?
And okay, I actually am realizing while you say this, naturally, if he already had this boundary, I wondered to myself, did Harry ever really want to marry you?
I thought he didn't.
You're not. I'm like, you're not married to me. Like, he never saw marriage with you. So there, in my opinion, you low-key forced this whole thing. There was a lot of force involved here is what I'm actually getting.
I fully thought that because I'm like, first of all, Harry casually telling you he wouldn't marry someone Jewish. What exactly were y'all doing? Because she's been clear she wants to get married.
Yeah. And this is why I understand Harry is a better choice compared to the other men in her life. However, if his intention was to only sleep with you, then he's just being a man.
Exactly.
He's just being a man and he thinks you're hot. Okay, and next. So, like, what exactly were we putting so much on? Like, what were we holding on? Like, Charlotte, like, what made him so special when in reality, he knew you weren't Jewish?
I think that Charlotte had her own ticking clock of when she was supposed to be married. And when she felt like she wasn't hitting that goal at this time she thought she should, she starts to orchestrate when that goal is going to hit. Like, if a man's not going to pick me, I'm going to force him to pick me. Like, for her, validation lies in being chosen and like chosen officially.
Yeah, and you forced the chosen. I ain't never seen this chosen in my life. This is not what chosen looks like to me.
Guys, no, this is not it.
You forced it. You forced all of it.
And I feel like the lasting and the most interesting part about Charlotte's character is she spent all of Sex and the City trying to get chosen by a man. We never saw Charlotte have identity outside of trying to be married and be with a man. Her job was not a priority for her.
You literally dropped a job that you cared about, art, just to become a wife.
Like, she cared so much more about the role of being a wife than having any sense of identity and figuring out who Charlotte is. She was strategizing and structuring and coming up with all these different ways to run into men and have different encounters. She did that with Trey. She stalked Trey. Isn't that how she got with Harry?
Yeah. That's exactly what she did. She pulled up to this place where, like, I guess it was like a Jewish gathering, and that's how she found him. And then she won him back by having their little exchange. How is that authentic? I'd never seen him be in his masculine in the whole course of your relationship, and him searching after you and proving himself to you because you're always leaning forward. That's why even then, yes, you may be great with light femininity and you may have understandings of it and, you know, you're good, but you also were not that great and you were still wounded because you often lean forward when you were supposed to lean back. Feminine energy is all about leaning back and letting, you know, everything work out because you believe in the universe. You're in tune, your inner womb, your inner blessings that we've been given and strengths, you're supposed to trust.
And she didn't have dark femininity either because you never had boundaries and you never really stood up for yourself. You always felt like whatever you needed was on the back burner and didn't matter, and you had to adjust to the man. Even when you married Harry and he was like walking around with his ass out, which was very gross for me as a viewer.
You never said a word. You stared at him so like he was weird.
For you. It was so hard for her.
And people complained to your friends.
Eventually she spoke up, but I think it just shows to you how much Charlotte people pleases. Charlotte will people please for a man if it means being chosen and being a kept woman.
You are centering men doing that. Charlotte centered men.
And as much as her morals and her values aligned with us, her mentality about love and romance actually didn't, because you said shit that makes sense, but you moved like someone who thought she could never find love.
Yeah, you don't match what you say.
So, yeah. It makes a lot of sense why all of these women were friends. They're literally messes walking around.
They're all messes. And like Gary even said, I think, at one point.
And it's relatable. They embody the reality of a lot of girlies today, but we hope that we can shine a flashlight on these traits and help you guys see deeper. And maybe you'll be like, damn, I think like this. I don't want to think like this.
Because or desperate for marriage. Like,
or even a boyfriend. Desperate for a boyfriend.
Desperate for a man, period. No. And it will never be the love story you're looking for if desperation is involved in the equation. If you are not giving a fuck and you lean back and you say, you know what, like, I just want to love myself, live my best life, figure out what I like to do, enjoy the fruits of life, and just let life happen to you, you will never prosper. You'll always keep getting the worst conditions. You're not in your feminine energy when you do that. When you don't do those things that I just said, you are wounded. You're not letting things just be.
If you're
and
trying
just
to control it, control
just-
the narrative, control how shit happens to you.
Yeah, you're not enjoying life. You're enjoying chasing men when men are out here doing what I just said, enjoying life. That's what they do. But we're out here freaking out, hoping someone chooses us our whole lives. How pathetic. Imagine wasting your whole life over that.
Why do you think Charlotte jumped up and cheered when Mr. Big proposed? She was like, guys,
she's finally chosen.
She's been after this man for 10 years. Granted, round of applause. But I think Charlotte, it was like, finally she got the ring, the win.
Because that's what her main motto is. So she's like, oh my God, like, I believe in getting chosen by men. Finally, he chose her. Yay. Despite all the disrespect Mr. Big did, all the things that as a friend you should be really weary of.
She
and
doesn't
kind of
care
like,
because
okay.
she got the thing I think
She's
values
like,
the most.
Yeah, I don't
chosen.
care. Like, who cares if he embarrassed her and made her feel like lesser than, or made her feel second choice? Who cares?
And that's why
she's chosen.
I honestly think that's why throughout the show she was always like a Mr. Big cheerleader, because she's like, well, he keeps coming back and choosing you, so period, girl, queen, yes.
Yeah, so she had that pick Misha thing in her. She really did.
So we wanted to shine a light on Charlotte. Although she was our favorite girl, she's got problems. And next time we will get into Miranda Hobbs, my least favorite of all of the girlies. Miranda really, really, really bothers me. And
a lot.
Miranda's mentality was very frustrating, and we're ready to get into that. At the end of the day, guys, Sex and the City is a great show, a very well-written show. We love doing these deep dives and getting into the depths of these women and unpacking things that we feel like the public does not hold them accountable for.
Yeah, and I'm just tired of hearing the same thing over and over again, and it just feels like a bunch of robots when people are talking about Sex and the City.
Yeah.
I need new discourse. I need people really looking deep. And for once, like, I'm really happy to be able to share this new perspective, because I think this could really help the world.
Yeah, genuinely, we do these videos to be able to show you guys, like, you may be looking at things surface level and missing so much, and then this could also be happening in your real life. And if these videos can somehow help you look deeper, understand the people around you, understand yourself more, then we are doing our job. And if you have any comments, any feedback, anything, have you ever been desperate? Do you have a friend who's been desperate? We love the discourse in the comments. Drop your opinions down below. And if you like this video, make sure to like this video
and comment on this video. Hello. And say what you think. Like, what are your thoughts? Do you think we're off? Are we crazy?
Share this with your homegirl.
Yeah. And make sure to obviously subscribe, because we have so much more and amazing content coming your way.
And become a Remy Rebel today, and you'll love our page. Happy to have you on the Remy Diaries, aka Remy TV, your favorite YouTube streaming network, where you'll never want to change the channel. Bye.